ready.
What up, everybody? This is Ace. Welcome to another episode of Ace and His Familia podcast. On today's podcast, myself and my co-host, Famous B, will be stepping aside to give the ladies of pro wrestling a chance to represent and give their opinions of pro wrestling. From fans, we have a couple fans of pro wrestling, and we also have a former WWE Superstar / DIVA here representing, and it's an all-ladies night. So, all ladies night for the show, but this time it's not going to be us. They're not the special guests. They're taking over. It's going to be awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this. So let me introduce my co-host, Famous B, and he will introduce the host for the day that will take over for me and the co-host for the day that will take over for Famous B. He will also introduce two other special guests. After that, we will be muting ourselves and let the ladies do their thing. One last thing, this podcast is available not only on Spotify, but now on YouTube. And all episodes from now on, moving forward, will stay like that and play on both platforms. If you want to listen to it on YouTube, please go to Ace and His Familia Vlogs. So let's get this started. What's up, Famous? Go ahead and introduce.
What's up? How you doing, man? How's it going?
Awesome, man. I can't wait for this. I've been waiting for this. I'm excited. Go ahead and introduce everyone and let them take over.
I will do that. So, okay, guys, like I said, welcome to the podcast. And tonight is a very special night. I'm going to just move on real quick. I'm going to introduce four wonderful ladies that are going to be doing this podcast tonight, one by one. And the first person I'm going to introduce is tonight's host, Dalis. How are you this evening?
Hey, everyone. I'm doing good. And yourself?
I'm doing good. Thank you. And the next one I'm going to introduce is the co-host for the podcast tonight, and that is April, known as Harley Phoenix. How are you tonight?
I'm fabulous, man. I am honored to be here, and especially in front for the ladies' night for one night only. So, ladies are now officially taking over.
All right. All right. Let's move on. All right. And we have two special guests that I am so honored to have. And the first one is HeelLiz. Thank you for joining us this evening with the ladies. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, Brian? Thank you so much for having us. I'm excited. This is so cool.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for being a part of this. And last but not least, former diva, former manager of Deuce and Domino. Please welcome me in welcoming you guys, Cherry, to the podcast. How are you, Cherry?
I'm great. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Okay. So without further ado, Ace, I think it's time that we let these ladies rock and roll. What do you say?
I agree. Go for it, Dallas. Take over. Have fun.
All right.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, ladies, well, let's get this drum rolling. So we're going to start off with NXT. So what is your opinion of the NXT new logo coming up? We could start with HeelLiz.
Me? Okay. Let's start with the fact that I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the new NXT logo. It's just a whole new era. I know that this is the whole new season of NXT. 2.0 was... The athletes are amazing. I think it's just the branding itself, like the colors. It was just, I don't know. It was just something different, but I don't know. It wasn't the same as the black and gold era of NXT. So with Triple H now, taking over NXT again and changing it just a little bit, just to what it used to be. So I'm pretty excited. I'm excited for the whole just, I think everything. I think aside from the logo, just everything going forward with that entire brand. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we do get to see, more superstars, be put out there. We have been seeing some kind of slowly getting into the main roster. So it's looking good so far.
Yeah, it's an awesome time to watch NXT again. Like, for myself, I'll be honest, I stopped watching it when it became 2.0. I was a bit against it. But now that we're going back to the black and gold era, and everything's and you can sense that the vibe is so different now. So I'm enjoying NXT right now. How about you, April?
It's about time that NXT is now officially black and gold. It should have been that way since when it first started, because, we had everyone from the past that started NXT, and then some of them, they got moved up to the main roster, which is absolutely good, but now that we got new superstars, new wrestlers for the roster, and now that Triple H is taking over, it is going to take NXT to new heights. And who knows, maybe, with everything that's going on now that Triple H is finally in charge, not just NXT, but also Raw and Smackdown. So let's see how things go.
Yeah. How about you, Cherry?
I agree. I didn't like the logo at all. It wasn't organic at all. It didn't fit. There wasn't a need for a change. So the fact that they made it a little bit more natural and it just fits better than that like beachy, 80s, splatter. I just didn't fit. So I definitely agree with you ladies on that. Definitely having something a little bit more unique to it, but also a little bit homegrown is way much more of a better fit than it was. So there wasn't any need to change it, but with it, what it is now, it's not original, but what it is now is definitely much better.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everyone's opinion. Since we're on the topic of NXT, do you feel that the lines have been blurred? Like, now we're seeing NXT, Raw, and Smackdown. Like, just for an example, Solo Sikoa winning the North American title. Do you see, the lines are being blurred? Anyone who wants to take it over from here?
I think it's a good idea.
I kind of see it that way because it's going to literally change things, especially we got the big pay-per-view event coming up. And I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago, we had 3 major brands. You had Raw, you had Smackdown, you had NXT, literally going to war. I could also see big changes coming where it's going to feel like deja vu more so. I see we may end up having another War Games, which I am definitely praying to God that it happens, because not only it's going to shake things up for all 3 brands, but even better, it's going to give the ratings even more skyrocketing. Not for all 3 brands. Think about it.
Definitely. How about you, Liz?
For me, honestly, I'm loving this whole takeover. Him bringing back takeover, because Vince had removed takeover.
Yes,
but honestly,
why?
The fact that War Games is coming back, I love it. I love War Games. I think the new concept that Triple H is trying to introduce, aside from just it being NXT or Survivor Series being like SmackDown versus Raw, he's trying to incorporate everything. So I think where he's going with it, I'm liking it. This new fight cage style that they're introducing for Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a crazy Survivor Series. I'm pretty tempted on going, if I'm being honest, because, War Games. I was here at War Games when they were here in LA. For that Survivor Series back in 2018. It was so insane. I was always looking forward to War Games. With the Black and Gold era, I was just a fan of the Black and Gold era more than the main roster at that time. Now it's, kind of flipped because of the whole NXT 2.0 and, you know, just being new superstars that I wasn't adjusting to. But this whole War Games and TakeOver, I love that Triple H is bringing that back because it's what we all liked from that era, and the fact that we kind of like, we got it, you know, taken away just little by little. And that he's just, you know, that's the first thing that he's doing. You know, this is what his second pay-per-view in, and he's already bringing in NXT War Games, like War Games. I don't know, but I'm excited. I think it's gonna bring in the competition. It's just gonna be a little bit more. It's gonna be a little crazier, especially with it being in the main roster. Everybody always is trying to excel over someone else, or just trying to better each other. And I think the chemistry in that entire just match is going to be insane. So I'm looking forward to it, and I really hope that we continue with War Games.
Can I add a little something, Dalis?
Yeah, sure.
Now that you're just on the topic of War Games, think about this for a minute. We have WrestleMania. Who knows? For anyone that has been a long-time WWE fan, and now that they're bringing it back, War Games, as for us, I can't wait to bring back the War Games here in LA next year for WrestleMania. Man, I'm telling you right now, for next year's WrestleMania, it's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, WrestleMania LA is going to be really awesome. Can't wait. How about you, Cherry? What do you think?
I think Triple H needs to make an impact so everybody realizes there's, you know, a transition, which is, you know, hasn't been done in a long time. And I think that there's a lot that was lost in what's happened in the last year or so. So he definitely needs to make an impact. And I think he's making the right ones, you know, with there's certain people he's bringing back and the certain changes and sprinkling different shows on with other shows. And, you know, I've been in that position where Solo Sikoa is, you know, working NXT, but also working main roster. That's hard to do. But obviously they feel like doing that for him, he can handle it. So, you know, those changes are going to be fun to watch. He's not overdoing it. He's doing it just enough to make it that much more interesting. And I think that with the ratings, you can see that, you know, people are definitely invested and they're excited and they can't wait to see what else has happened. And he's doing it just enough. So he definitely has that keen eye, but he needed to make an impression. And obviously.
Definitely. Like, I'm excited for TakeOver. I'm excited for War Games as well. And it's going to be at Survivor Series. So, here's my theory or prediction, a spoiler, as Paul Heyman would say. Seeing how dominant the bloodline is since the pandemic, and adding Solo Sikoa into the bloodline, do you girls believe that we might see maybe the bloodline as a team going into Survivor Series?
That's a no-brainer. I see the bloodline taking over the War Games. Because with them as family, they're tight. They never back down from any challenges, let alone back down from any fight. They've had fights come to them, and they always overcome it no matter what. So having them start it out for the War Games, something tells me they're going to tear it down. They're going to bring it down. They're going to literally have everyone be like, holy hell.
Yeah, whether it's the opening or main event, 100% the bloodline is your one of the teams. That's hands down.
I can see that happening. Absolutely. But who would it be again?
See, we got Drew McIntyre.
But you can't put the bloodline. You can put the bloodline against a whole other team, but it has to be a solid team because then they're all gonna just turn on each other. See? Because War Games is crazy. And I know for sure the Usos they will get it. But I think it was inevitable for Solo Sikoa to be added to the bloodline. I think everybody saw that the second that he was signed to NXT. You know, I don't think it was pretty obvious, you know. It was going to happen. I think it was just what championship was he going to hold first, which was the thing. We all assumed it would be the NXT title, but I don't think that they're going to be taking it away from Braun anytime soon. So him holding the North American Championship, I'm happy with it. But I think he's a great addition, especially for him being new to just WWE in general, while the Usos and Roman have been there for 10 plus years. So honestly, I think he's a great addition to it, you know, getting a newer face, a fresher face, but still knowing that, you know, this guy, you know, goes and rolls with the bloodline. And I mean, I feel like he came in at the perfect time because the bloodline did not exist, you know, 2 years ago, well, 2+ years ago. So I feel like him coming in now and how solid and strong they are with how they've retained their titles, I think he's going to do very great things. So I'm looking forward to him. And if it happens to be at War Games where we see him in a first WWE pay-per-view, not NXT, but a main roster pay-per-view, I'm all for it. And I know he's going to kill it.
Definitely. I so agree. I can't wait for that to happen. And not only that, it kind of will benefit Solo Sikoa hanging with his brothers and cousin. You know, it's like he might be the future of the bloodline anyway.
That is
So
true.
we'll see how well he does it with them. How about you, Terry?
The bloodline is definitely their main storyline. I mean, I think that they definitely hold a lot of the entertainment factor of it. And I think that it's a great decision because Roman's definitely doing great, and to add that whole stable makes it that much more impactful. So it's just a strong stable that really validates kind of that title and their storyline. So it was great. It was great to see Solo, you know, appear on that. So and join them. So it was great.
Speaking of bloodline, now because of, you know, with Naomi, I mean, think about this. Naomi, she's married to one of the Usos. What do you think, guys? Do you think she'll make it a special female addition to the bloodline? What do you think if she joins the bloodline, what she's going to bring out of it, you know, for the cousins in them? Liz?
For me, honestly, I think we've all been kind of questioning if she was going to be added to the bloodline. I think we've seen it all over social media, the idea of Naomi added to the bloodline. Even Sasha added to the bloodline when they were holding the tag team championships, the women's tag team championships. Honestly, I would love to see it. I would be all for it because I feel like Naomi needs this push. We haven't seen a push from, you know, for her since the last time she held a title on her own, not a tag team title, but just the Smackdown Women's Championship. So I would be great for her to see her get that push and maybe even get a heel side of her, because I would love to see heel Naomi. I mean, I love her all bubbly and dancing and everything, but I mean, I feel like she would bring that sass, and I don't know, I think she can match the energy that Sasha brings. So with that being said, I would also like to see Sasha on there and have them even, just imagine them holding all these titles. That'd be crazy. That would be mad crazy. But people would probably think it's overrated, and they would probably not be into it. But it would be awesome. I don't know. At least for me, I would think it'd be great. At least for like a month.
Do you think there might be a possibility that both of them may end up splitting up because, you know, one wants to, you know, chase something, wants to do their own thing?
I feel like, for me, I would personally like to see it because I want to continue to see Sasha and Naomi together. I feel like we didn't get to see them and fully enjoy their reign together because of everything that happened. So I would like to see both Naomi and Sasha to stay together if they happen to be added to the bloodline. I mean, why not? Let's have fun.
Gary, any opinions on that?
Well, any strong stable always has a female. You know, it'd be great to see Naomi there. And any strong stable wants to have all titles. So that would include any female titles, so, and women's titles. So, you know, that's definitely would add some, not stability, but just storyline, you know, and, you know, having that strong stable with the female there as well would always be the icing on the cake.
Definitely. Yeah, I would I would like to see Naomi in the Bloodline. I mean, it would really help her career as well. Give her a storyline and that push that she rightfully deserves as well. And I also think, like, within stables, it's really rare that they have, like, a strong woman in a stable. Like, if you compare it to Judgment Day, we see Rhea Ripley, and she's been nailing her role being part of that stable. So I won't see why Naomi couldn't do that. But it'll be beneficial for her if she does join the Bloodline. But at the same time, I do want her to finish where she left off with Sasha with those women's tag team titles. So I'm hoping sometime soon, maybe they pop out. We never know, but I have a gut feeling they might go against Aew and Dakota for those titles.
We may have seen it probably either Survivor Series, maybe even Royal Rumble. We just don't know when they're going to be back. Only time will tell. So
Definitely.
We just leave the decision to Triple H. Hell, if he gets in contact with them and say, ladies want to come back, go for it. And if they come back, let's just say, women's division, they're about to get put on notice.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I mean, if you see Bayley's and Sasha history for their tag team, they're tag team experts. And they're very serious about those tag team division as well. So I think that's money right there. Dakota Kai, Aew versus Sasha Naomi.
But then we have Bailey turning on them, and then dun dun dun.
That twist.
Who knows?
Remember, Bailey?
Yeah, we never know. We never know.
Oh my God, that's Sasha.
Yeah, it's really Sasha. Sasha does the turning.
I know. They did the turning on each other, though. They did the turning on each other.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Somebody has to break the tie.
Touche.
All right. I think now we could discuss about Raw. So, April.
Well, first up, they started off with a match which was the U.S. title, and this I think goes back for about a couple of weeks between, Theory being the so-called youngest Money in the Bank, holder, and being the youngest U.S. champion. Man, ever since KO and Austin Theory have been literally going at it like butting heads, man, it just seems to Theory that his ego is getting to him. Like, he can run his mouth all he wants, claiming that he's better than this person, and they embrace up other people from the roster who have been in the company longer than him. He's biting off more than he can chew. But picking a fight with someone that has been in the business for too long, yeah, I'm glad that, KO was going to be the one to shut him up, and he did. But I doubt that
definitely did.
It's going to be over. Either way,
I'm loving this KO and Theory thing. I'm loving it. I'm all here for it. The passion that KO had in his voice when he spit that, I was like, you made me feel that, and I'm not a wrestler. So honestly, for me, I was all for it. I feel like this is the push that, just like the little sparkle that Theory needed to get him going or get the ball rolling, because this guy is great. He's amazing. He's a great athlete. I think it was just because he got pulled and he was still considered Vince McMahon's, baby or kid or, whatever price possession. But
everyone calls him the children boy.
But I think because of that, he lost a lot of credibility in his athleticism and the way that he is and the way he runs. He's getting better every single week as well. So, like, this guy he's still really young. he has a lot to still, he's still learning as he's going and everything. But I think what he's doing with the Money in the Bank, honestly, I mean, it has eyes on him. It has people talking about him. And I think this is the most that we've seen of many people try to get involved with the Money in the Bank winner. So honestly, I feel like he's doing a great job so far. And this whole segment with KO, for me, I was all for it. I'm all for it. Everything that has led up to just every veteran coming to Theory and just getting his space, I'm loving it. I'm here for it. My theory is that he's not going to be able to successfully keep cashing in. He's going to try to keep going and not do it. So I don't know. I'm having fun with it. I think we're going to get a really good version of Austin Theory, especially with Triple H in charge. So I think Austin's doing great. A lot of people don't like him. I started noticing a lot of people don't like him. Why?
He's cocky, he's arrogant, he's letting his ego get to him.
He's doing his job. He's a heel.
Yeah, he is doing his job. I guess because he was aligned with Vince McMahon. Maybe that's why a lot of fans don't like him. But as of late, as HeelLiz mentioned, it's awesome to see Theory working with KO, especially with KO's passion right now. Like, I want to see KO this way from now on. Like, his promo, his wrestling, it's like, whoa. And that's helping Theory at the same time, because if you saw the match yesterday, they were pretty much toe-to-toe with each other. And not to mention Gargano. Gargano's lurking around in there too, so...
Oh, yeah.
So, gotta keep an eye on Gargano right now.
Now that he came back, and I think he won his first match, which is something, but, him being on hiatus for, like, a few months, he still needs to get his groove back. He still needs to bring a little bit of his A game. And after that match that he had, I think he's doing an incredible job, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's hope they have a match for Extreme Rules. Especially how the story's going with Gargano, KO, and Theory. I would want to watch that, maybe in a ladder match.
Oh,
that's a good point.
Heck, if they put the briefcase up for grabs.
And if they put the briefcase on the line, whoa.
Thank you.
That would be crazy.
That would be... I'll say it now, if that happens, that would definitely be match of the night right there. With those three guys.
KO's unbelievable.
Gary, what's
Especially
your
when it comes
opinion?
to ladders or just no holds bar matches, street fights, everything. KO always takes it out the park. So I would really look forward to that if that were to happen. But then we have to remember that kind of same thing happened with Otis and The Miz. So who knows if they would bring that concept back at least right now. But
right.
It's a good idea. I would be all for that match.
Me too, definitely. I'm like already imagining.
Moving on, the U.S. Championship. That, unfortunately, that guy has been fighting up more than he can do. I mean, hell, he's had war with Matt Riddle. And it's like, Seth Rollins has been literally like always a step ahead, leaving Riddle 2 steps behind. But after what took place this past Monday Night Raw, I think for some reason Riddle got into Seth's head, because when it came to the championship for the U.S. title, I already knew damn well for a fact that there was no way in hell that Seth was going to actually succeed and win another championship. I mean, come on, look how big, look how strong freaking Bobby Lashley is. He almost put him out. But of course, freaking Seth Rollins, like the cheap shot, right behind the ref's back. He decided to take a cheap shot, almost winning it if it wasn't for that low blow. But because he wanted to try to be sneaky, thank God that Matt Riddle came out and literally cost him. It's like, well, you want to screw me? Well, guess what? You can play it back, and how does it feel to be screwed? And guess what? That's exactly what he did for Seth's match against Bobby Lashley, and Bobby still retained the championship. Whether he was still a little sore, whether he was still a little hurt, Bobby still remains on top as your U.S. champ.
Yep, definitely. It was a good match, though. I enjoyed that opening match. It was really good. But yeah, finally Seth lost one.
About time.
I know.
How did you feel about that match?
Who, me?
Liz.
Oh, okay.
How did you feel about that?
No, I thought it was great.
We'll get to you. We'll get to you.
Anytime that Seth gets in the ring, you're going to see something spectacular. And it was the spear to the pedigree. I think that was probably the major moment in that match. You know, it just goes to show the athleticism that both of those men have to put on that storyline. So, but ultimately setting it back up for Riddle and Seth was probably the ultimate goal of that match. But you can't by any means bypass the match that they put together. So definitely, you know, amazing to start off with, a great decision to start off with. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Liz?
It was a really good match. These guys, Seth Rollins is impressive. Bobby Lashley, he's been with the company for a long time, but I'm still warming up to him. I don't know why. Like, I think he's doing good as a champion right now, so I think that's why I'm warming up to him. But when he did the Hurt Business, I wasn't a huge fan, but I understood what was going on. I was like, okay, I feel it, but, you know, it's not my cup of tea. And then, you know, right now that he's, you know, on his own, just doing his own thing, I think it's a lot better for him. It's a lot better look for him. And then especially with Seth Rollins, like, it's just them being, you know, just them two, just putting on a great performance. And being the opening match, I mean, one, you know, it has to be, like, you know, a great match to have people still, you know, attracted or want to stay tuned and stuff. And usually we do see Raw starting off with segments instead of matches. So with them just going kind of like just taking a small turn, shorting that down, and then just going straight into the match, I loved it. This was a phenomenal match. Again, that pedigree I loved it. That, I think for me, I was just like, oh, there's no way he's gonna win. I was like, what? I was really shook because I knew that they're going hard with the Riddle and Seth. So I was like, there's no way this guy he's about to win right now. Like, if he does, like, what does that mean? And then I just started, like, picturing, I'm just like, okay, does that mean that there's, you know, soon we're going to get Riddle to be champion? Like, what's going on? You know, like, a lot of things started processing literally within, like, that 2 seconds that happened. But overall, I think the ending was expected because I don't think I would have wanted Seth to, like, just lose like that because he's doing so good, and I would love to see him get another championship match. So I feel like the way that this match ended well, especially to continue the storyline with Riddle, but to also continue something with Bobby Lashley in the near future. So I think for me overall, this match was phenomenal, and I loved it. I like what they, how they kind of like just did, you know, their entire story throughout the whole match. So love it. I was a fan.
Jerry? Any feedback on the U.S. title match?
Oh, we just talked. Yeah.
Oh.
She was fine. Didn't have anything else.
Moving on to the promo. Of course, the Damage Control, they literally won their championship was last week, I believe, and they came down yesterday to celebrate. Oh, they were just talking about, how they're putting the whole entire roster on notice of the female division, saying, we're here to take over. But little behold that, of course, you've got the women's, you know, the Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair. You think she was going to come along? No, she had backup. She had both Alexa Bliss and she had Asuka. Of course, them two literally kept going at it, and of course, Bayley's just like, she wants an opportunity at the Raw Women's Champion. I mean, think about this. Bayley was once the longest reigning SmackDown champion in history. That I have to give her credit. But she just kept going on and running her mouth until it was found that, I guess, she bit off more than she can chew. So, of course, that led them to a fight. And so they just literally were going at it, and that was basically it. What do you guys think?
I think for me, I'm excited to see Alexa Bliss back out there. I'm excited to see Asuka back out there, and especially backing up the women's champion, because we all need backup. No matter how big and bad we are, we all need backup sooner or later. So I feel like these three women together is magic, especially with what Bayley has going on with Io Sky and Dakota. I'm all for it. I've been a fan of these ladies since they were in NXT. So if they were to main event a show soon, a pay-per-view soon, I would be all for it, because these women are main eventers. So for me, honestly, I love this. I love what's going on with Bayley and her faction. I think this is like the best. I think we all expected Bayley to come back, but not come back this way and with her people. So I'm just like, yes. So I love where this is going. The entire women's division is just completely shifting, and I'm all for it.
Jared, do you have your opinion?
I think there was a void when the whole thing went down with Sasha and Naomi, so they really needed something to fill that and make a big impact, and I think that those players were definitely a great pick for that. They still have a little bit more to prove as far as, I think, in their storyline, because they're just still so new, but I'm glad to see that they have I initially thought they were going to put the belts on them right away, but now that they have them, it still gives that opportunity to get that those characters over and that control that Bayley has over. So to see it grow is going to be what we're really going to enjoy, and really take that void, get rid of that void and really put some steam behind it. So it'll be exciting to see.
All right, and then we go on to the tag team division, which is the Brawling Brute. Man, especially these guys, after what went down Friday night in a fatal four-way, I mean, that match was, I have to say, for that Smackdown, was the match of the night, in my opinion. We were hoping to see some other teams, but these guys, let me tell you, these guys brought their A game. And they were talking about how they're going to literally challenge, of course, the undisputed tag team champions, the Usos. But they forget that they were on Raw. And of course, you have the biggest guys in Raw, the tag team, which is former tag team champions, the Street Profits. They know very well what champions look like. They were once champions, so they had to take them to, meaning the Brawling Brutes, to school saying, hey, we know about championships than you guys do. Yeah, you guys are brand new, you guys got called up, but you haven't faced the Usos like they have, like also the New Day, and I guess it led to a match where them two decided to face Street Profits. And they brought their A game, and of course they won. It just shows you what is going to take place for them to face the Usos. Something tells me that the Usos may end up keeping their championship, but we never know. These guys may end up breaking their record, but we won't know until the time comes. Cherry, got any opinion?
You got to find a team that's going to beat them. The Usos are definitely very strong right now. They're great champions right now. I love Butch. I think that's the best character in the world. I think he does it very, very well. I would love to see him a lot more, but I think right now they just have to find that team that is going to potentially take the titles off of the Usos, because you have to have that strong team, because the Usos are pretty strong right now. So,
Dallas, any feedback?
Well, from the Smackdown main event to yesterday, I love the Brawling Brutes. I mean, I've been waiting to see Pete Dunne wrestle this way, because for me, I feel like he was being held back. But now that he's wrestling more as Pete Dunne, but still Butch, I'm really enjoying it. And as a faction, I think they're a pretty good faction between them and Imperium. So, yeah, either or, I was really stoked for. just give the new tag teams like opportunities, you know, versus the same old like the New Day, the Street Profits. I personally want to see someone new, someone fresh that could be equally up to par with them.
Sounds about right. Liz, any feedback?
I completely agree. I am all for all these new factions, especially the Brawling Brutes, because since they put them together, I knew it was going to work. They all, I wasn't sold on the Butch thing at first, until I started kind of see him show his character on what he was trying to convert, what basically Butch converted into. Because I was used to Pete Dunne. I love Pete Dunne. I was following him since NXT UK. Then he got pulled over to NXT, and I was like, damn, is this guy, you know, he's gonna get picked up and he's gonna go move on to the main roster like really fast. So I feel like I think at first we weren't all sold on it, especially the name Butch. Like it just, like I don't know, it just didn't sound pleasing. But this dude's a badass. Like he's a complete badass, so it goes with him. So honestly, I'm excited for them. I'm excited to see them. I know that they can. With Sheamus, we've all seen what Sheamus can do, especially with tag teams. He is one of like the top. He has the 5, I believe, tag team reigns under his belt with the Bar. So honestly, for me, I'm excited for it. I want to see that. I want to see them get pushed. I want to see the entire tag team division, because the entire tag team division, both men and women, didn't get enough time or didn't get those storylines that we've all kind of been craving for those titles. So especially getting to build it up in general is amazing, to be able to have all these factions together and all these people together, but also compete at the level to where we want them to see, to be able and understand and be like, okay, I can see them taking away from the Usos. So I think that's a major thing. Like Sherry had said, the bloodline is just really strong. It has to be somebody really strong in order to remove at least 1 or 2 titles from that entire, from the bloodline. So, and who could it be? I mean, for me, honestly, I can see the Brawling Brutes doing it. But then again, if the New Day were to, get back on the 10 toes, I could definitely see New Day coming back up as being one of the top tag team champions again.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that you got a veteran of all people, Sheamus, because that guy has held multiple belts on multiple occasions, and especially him working with the Bruce, Rich Holland, and Pete Dunne. Man, he is literally like teaching them the ropes. Teaching them how it feels and what it is to be champion and possibly become future tag team champion. So for Sheamus to work with them two, kudos to him.
Oh, absolutely. Because, I mean, he's changed a lot from when he first started. When he first started, his character was more selfish, more self-centered, more about him. I'm doing everything for, more aggressively for him. And to see him transition to be the leader of a pack is pretty cool. He's, I feel like Sheamus is just really underrated, and I hate it because this guy is so good. He is so good. He has proven it time again. So I'm excited for him and his new faction and stuff. But I'm mostly excited for Rich Holland and Pete Dunne. I want to keep calling him Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne.
Well, that's what he got started as. He got started as Pete Dunne and then decided to change the name to Butch. I don't know what made him change the name. It was probably Vince, of course.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it's him. From what I had seen, I think Vince had mentioned that he wanted to remove anything related to like their indie names into the main roster. So a lot of people, that's the reason why they pulled and changed their names. Austin Theory was one of them. But then, with Triple H back, he gave him his name back. So now he's Austin Theory again, not just Theory. So
nice. So April, let's just talk about the main event, and then we'll jump to AEW predictions.
Main event, I have to say, I think the last match was Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. Because it all started with the celebration with Damage Control, you know, Io Sky and Dakota Kai winning the championship. You know, I guess for some reason the ladies, you know, meaning what's her name, they couldn't let it go because they got screwed out of the championship. So it kind of bothered them in a way that they wanted to get revenge. So of course, Alexa Bliss was like, you're biting off more than you can chew. So that led to the match between her Alexa Bliss and Bayley. Of course, Bayley, you know how she is. She's always going to be that step ahead. She always has to have her girls with her, you know, and that caused her to cheat to win, unfortunately. So either the outcome was that Bayley won because of the interference by Damage Control, which also led to the being of all three of them. And the outcome was that she wants that championship gold. She wants to hold that title one last time. So she actually called out and challenged Bianca Belair for the championship at Extreme Rules in 3 weeks. It's going to be hard to say who's going to win that match, but something tells me that Bayley's going to have a trick up her sleeve and she's going to come out on top. Dallas, any feedback on that?
The main event was fine. I really enjoyed Alexa Bliss being fired up again. I kind of missed that from her. And I also enjoyed that finally Bayley decides to pick the date and time to face Bianca for her title. So it was a solid segment. I enjoyed it.
I agree. I liked Alexa finally, getting in there again. So giving her that opportunity, especially for a main event, to be involved in that was fun to watch.
Liz?
I love it too. I'm excited. I think for me, I'm trying to see if they're trying to bring back Little Miss Bliss, but I don't think that's happening. But if it does, that'd be so cool. I miss her just being out there in the main storylines, I guess, that are going on. So to see her to be, behind Bianca, and then not only that, wanting to just get that just getting herself out there. I think in general, coming back from a little while she was away, especially, with getting married and everything. So I'm excited to see her back. I'm looking forward to more of Alexa Bliss. Now, can we see her return with the Fiend, or will we see old Alexa back? Who knows? But I'm all for it. I'm excited. And honestly, I would like to see her instead go for the Raw Women's Championship. But I mean, if Bayley it is right now, it is. But
I want to mention something. If any of you ladies notice something peculiar within the match, like some lights going on and off during the match.
I hear about that.
So I'm
I heard about it, but we didn't get a chance to see that.
And why the Bliss versus Bayley? I'm trying to figure that out. Like, I'm getting Bray Wyatt kind of thing going on here.
That's what
Just that happened to happen on Bliss's match.
Of all matches,
But if you remember correctly, she crossed him, so it only seems fair for him to come back and go after her. So.
Uh-oh.
Finish where it ended, pretty much.
Yeah.
There was one match I forgot to mention. It was a tag team match between the Judgment Day and Rey Mysterio versus Riddle. I mean, this is the betrayal of Dominic, betraying his own father at Clash of the Castle. We were not expecting this to happen whatsoever. I mean, yeah, they were once and his dad were once tag team champions. They held it for some time, but after the fallout, I was not expecting Dominic, Ray's son of all people, trying to stop it. That because how Judgment Day is, they want to freaking, hit the brain of Dominic. They want to use him And I think that's what happened. So because of the fallout, Dominic decided to join Judgment Day, and yeah. What do you think about that outcome of the match?
Well, see, for me, I'm all for Dominic turning. I think this is what we've all been waiting for. I think he just needed to be separated from his dad at this point. It was cool, that they got their moment, they got their WrestleMania moment, that they won their tag team, being the first ever son and dad type of thing going on, especially with Ray being in the company for so long. I'm pretty sure that's probably something that he's always probably looked forward to and was hoping that he would probably one day do. But, I mean, for real, Harley, you really did not think that Dominic was going to turn on his dad?
No, I didn't.
It was going to happen. It was either him or Ray turning on his son, either or. It was I was hoping. See, my intake on it was that Ray was gonna turn on Dominic and eventually be like, hey, you know what? Well, Eddie was right. He is your dad. So I was hoping that storyline to come back. Although we don't have Eddie here, rest in peace. But I would have loved to have seen that storyline come back, where, he tells Dom, like, hey, you know what? Remember this replay? And then, they play the clip of where Eddie's telling him that that's his dad. Yeah, I would have loved to see that. He's like, he's not your dad. He's like, well, guess what? For real, I am not your dad. Because they were losing. They had their losing streak thing going on. So I was like, there's no way. Like, one of them is going to get tired of losing. So I'm like, either or. But of course, Ray is that dad. He's like, trying to, have him under his wing and everything. So I knew for sure it would be Dom, and I was waiting for it, and I was hoping it was Dom because we needed heel Dom to just I feel like this baby face was not working for him. He came in all, smiles and everything, but I honestly, for me, didn't take the kid seriously. So with him turning, I think the heel turn, if this doesn't work out, then I really don't know what will. But so far, I'm liking it. So far, I'm digging it. It's barely the beginning. But I'm really hopeful because he's been training with his dad. I'm assuming he's been training with his dad for years.
Yeah, he has. Yes.
So he, he's not new to the ropes. I think it's just also having someone else to kind of guide you along the way, aside from just owning your dad and your family that that has helped you wrestle through along the years. But I feel like getting your foot into the pond of many other wrestlers, especially being with Finn Balor. Like, aside from Rhea Ripley, like, she's a total badass, but Finn Balor, like, I feel like this is going to be a great thing for him. So I'm really hopeful, and I really hope that it works out. And like I said, if it doesn't, then I do not know what will.
Y'all, what's your feedback on that?
I mean, Judgment Day's been growing on me. It's been a slow, ever since Edge got kicked out, it's been like a slow burn, but now it's picking up again. And I gotta say, I really enjoy Rhea Ripley on her role, trying to be that master manipulator to Dominic. And he seems to listen to everything she tells him to do. So it's very interesting. It's very intriguing to me. So I can't wait to see what goes beyond this point.
Jerry, what's your opinion on this one?
Dominic definitely had a turn. He needs that opportunity to learn a little bit more from that side of the ring. So he needed a turn. It wasn't going to ever be right. And it just gives him another depth to his relationship and to his character, and another opportunity to learn a different part of it. So it'll be good for him. It'll be good.
Okay, ladies. Now from here, we're gonna just wrap it up really quickly with the AEW Grand Slam, which is tomorrow. So we'll start with Cherry. Just your prediction, who will win the match? Just a simple winner.
So what are the matches?
The matches, okay. The World Heavy Champion is Moxley versus Daniel Bryanson.
Okay.
You
want me to give you the predictions as you
Just
tell me the match.
who you prefer, who you think will win, or who do you want to win?
I think it'll be a great match, but I think Mox will probably win that one.
And we got Swerve in Our Glory versus The Acclaim for the tag team.
I think they might put it on the Acclaim, the way that it's going.
And we got the interim Women's World Championship, which is Toni Storm, Serena Deeb, Athena, and Dr. Britt Baker.
I've known Serena for quite some time. I think she's doing great. I would love to see her take that.
The AEW All-Atlantic Champion is Pac versus Orange Cassidy.
They're both great. I enjoy watching Orange Cassidy. I think he's definitely devoted to his character and does a lot really good stuff with it. I think the bastard will keep it.
And finally, the ROH World Championship, which is Claudio versus Chris Jericho.
Claudio's keeping it.
Nice.
Claudio's keeping it. He's incredible. Incredible.
I have to agree. How about you, HeelLiz? Just wrap it up.
Alrighty. Okay, so for the AEW World Championship, I think Danielson's going to be taking this. Although I never bet on Moxley, but I do think he's going to take his vacation soon. So I think Danielson would be the way to go right now, especially because at the end they're already being the Comeback Club on the top. So I feel like it's either or, but I'm thinking Danielson's going to be taking this one. For the tag team, I was hopeful that the Claim would get it, but at a pay-per-view. But the way that I've seen video packages, I'm kind of leaning that the Claim is going to end up taking it tomorrow, which I would be all for it. I'm a huge fan. But I was hoping that they would get their pay-per-view on, winning the title. For the interim women's championship, I think Toni Storm will retain. I think Britt Baker will come close, but I'm pretty sure Jamie Hayter will have something to do with that. So I think Toni Storm is going to retain even more because she just got this title. So I don't think that they'll be removing it from her anytime soon, or at least not right now, especially until they decide what's going to happen with Thunder Rosa. For the AEW All-Atlantic, I'm a fan of both Orange Cassidy and Pac, but I got Pac on this one. And then for the ROH, Claudio versus Chris Jericho. Although Chris Jericho is the GOAT, I am going for Claudio on this one. But I'm kind of like in a 50-50 because we have seen what Jericho has been able to do in these last feuds that he has had. So something tells me that he's going to try to do something, but I'm pretty sure Claudio's going to be prepared. So I'm solid on Claudio that he's going to be taking this one.
Okay, April.
Honestly, for the World Championship, Moxley has held that championship a few times, but I think it's time to have someone else in the Blackpool Combat Club to win it, and I think Brian should definitely win that one, in my opinion. For the tag team, of course, after that little slight injury that the Acclaim ended up having, who knows what Swerve in Our Glory is, and they're going to try to do whatever it takes to injure what's name's foot, or should I say knee. So I think, of course, Swerve in Our Glory is still going to retain that championship. Fatal 4-Way, Tony, yeah, she got lucky that she was the champion. Congrats to her. But something tells me that Hager is going to probably screw Britt Baker out of her championship. But if I had a choice to see those 4 ladies, give the championship to Athena. Because, she tried to have her shot at the TBS championship, which she wasn't able to succeed, unfortunately. So she may get that push opportunity to win the women's championship. All Atlantic, Orange Cassidy, he's good, but of course, you gotta give it to Pac. Pac's gonna retain it. As far as the champion for the Ring of Honor, granted, yes, Jericho has held numerous championships on numerous occasions, but you know Jericho. All of us knows it. That guy's a wizard. Is gonna do whatever trick he has to win another 8 championship. Boy, it could go either way, but something tells me that we may have seen Jericho win the championship, but who knows? It's every man for themselves. We'll see what happens. So it's a toss-up. I can't say it's definitely.
As for myself, for the AEW World Champion, I'm going for Bryan. I mean, I think it's his time. I agree with Liz. I think Moxley's taking his vacay, which he had postponed. So I'm going for Bryan. For the tag team, crossing fingers, is the Acclaim. For the interim AEW Women's Champion, I have a good feeling that Toni Storm might retain. The All-Atlantic, I'm going to stick with Pac. And for the ROH, I'm going to stick with Claudio. That might be the match of the night, Claudio versus Chris Jericho. I mean, those guys are veterans. They put on great matches. So I'm looking forward for the ROH match.
We may have one of those matches could possibly be the match of the night. We never know which one of those matches is going to steal the show.
Yeah. It's a pretty of a toss-up because Moxley and Bryan, and then Claudio versus Jericho, that might be like toe-to-toe for me.
That's true.
That's a good card. It's a
Hey,
good card
ladies,
for,
I do have
for
to jump off, so I hate to cut my side short, but I appreciate this conversation. It was very fun hearing your feedback and kind of how your thoughts are on some of the stuff. So I thank you so much for having me.
I do have one question for you before you leave.
Okay.
Is there a possibility from us fans, wrestling fans, will we be able to see you go back into the square circle one last time? Or possibly,
Never say never. Never say never.
We're going to see her at the Evolution 2 pay-per-view.
That's right. Well, thank you, ladies. I appreciate the conversation and everything that you guys are enjoying and putting that feedback out there. It's, we've all come from a place where we love wrestling, so to be able to, chat about our thoughts and our opinions about it, it's so much fun to be able to do that with you guys. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your
my mom
time.
says hi to you, by the way.
What's that?
My mom says hi to you.
Oh, very sweet. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, ladies, I guess that's wraps up our day. How do you guys feel after this?
I'm still beyond speechless. Even though you Dallas of all people, of course, Famous B and Ace, got a chance to meet the incredible cheering person. I definitely want to get in touch with Jimmy to see if there's any possibility we may end up bringing her back, either solo or have her with Domino, with one of the two from Deuce and Domino, to the JWO signing. We really want that to happen. I mean, you guys got a chance to see her at the Wrestling Guys Show, which I didn't.
I did.
Yelling over you guys. I'm yelling over you. But I would like to meet her in person, face to face. I mean, it's cool. It's awesome to have her on the podcast, which is awesome because today we ladies stole the show again.
And it's 4 of us.
I know.
Yes, the 4 ladies, or should I say the 4 horsewomen? That's what we should call us from now on. Come on. What are the odds of having 4 women on one podcast?
I know. It's pretty cool. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, this is different for me, and I really enjoy listening to everyone's feedback and stuff, and it's all for the love of wrestling.
Yes,
Yes,
as long
I agree.
as us fans support the wrestlers, that's what it's all about. It's all about enjoying wrestling, to support them, to support the business, the brand, just wrestling in general. Because if it weren't for wrestling, what would we be watching by now?
Probably Vampire Diaries. No,
I love that show. I love that Vampire
I love Twilight, but
Thank
the
you.
series is way better.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies. Ladies, real quick. Final thoughts, each of you, and then also give your social media. So if anybody wants to follow you, ladies, and final thoughts.
We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm still gonna watch NXT tonight to see what's gonna take place. Because got about 25 minutes. Most of us are gonna be watching it on TV. You ladies probably got a chance to watch it early.
I was in the process of watching it. I have it on pause right now. It's on DVR. I was 30 minutes into it.
You should just let it record all the way through. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's currently on pause. I just know that opening match was pretty good, so that's all I have to say.
I haven't seen it. I was working, so I'm not gonna watch it until after. Because after this, I have something else going on, and then from there I have to go to the gym. So I probably won't be watching it until
get
way
that
later
workout.
tonight.
Get that workout.
Oh, we got to. But let's go ahead and aside from that, I think so far it's been a good week of wrestling. It's been a good week.
Yeah, that's
looking forward to.
It's gonna lead the next few weeks coming up for Extreme Rules. Not to mention tomorrow night the AEW Grand Slam, which I know a lot of us are gonna be tuning in.
Yes, I am so excited.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
This. Tomorrow night's gonna be Dynamite, first Grand Slam. Then you gotta wait till Friday, which is also the same night of Smackdown.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I would say for Friday, it's gonna be a double whammy.
It definitely is.
But I want to thank Brian. I want to thank Famous B and Ace for allowing us ladies to have a first ever ladies edition podcast. So hats off to both of you guys. Thank you guys for having me. If you guys want to follow me on social media. Follow me on Instagram, HarleyFans4529. You can also follow me on or friend me on Facebook. I also have a Twitter, April_Serrato85, because you can also follow me on there too. But definitely check out the Famous B. Definitely check out Famous B, Famous B Show 75, Ace and His Familia. Follow this podcast, Ace and His Familia podcast here on Spotify. You can follow him on YouTube, Ace and His Familia Blogs. Trust me, this is all wrestling related. So I'm leaving it at that.
Well, my final thoughts about our show tonight. I mean, like I said, it was a blast and a true honor to have Cherry with us. Yeah. Same having Liz here. This is actually as close as I've met you, so it's an honor to see you here. And also, thanks to Ace and Famous B for giving us this opportunity. I'm really speechless. Maybe I was a bit shy, but I had an awesome time. And my social media, I'm really active on Instagram, so it's Dalis Ortiz 80.
Thank you. I just want to start off with thank you guys so much. Ace and Brian, thank you guys so much for, allowing me, reaching out to me. And then thank you guys for, the lovely ladies, for joining. Because, if one wouldn't have made it, it wouldn't have been the same. But I had so much fun. I know that at least we've been trying to meet.
Yeah.
And it'll happen soon, I promise. You have definitely been missed at the events that I've been to, and you're not there.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully you'll see me soon. Probably at the October GCW, crossing fingers.
Ooh, I won't be there.
Oh.
I won't be there. I
hope the next signing that's going to be coming up probably.
Or maybe at a meet and greet. We'll see.
Exactly. We'll see. But thank you guys so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you for, discussing wrestling with me. I can discuss wrestling all day, every day. But as far as anything else goes, with my social contact, you guys can find me at heel.liz on all social media platforms. You can find me on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. You can find me everywhere. Heel.liz. Like I said, I cosplay, I TikTok, I don't dance. I'm just kidding. I don't dance.
You do many impressions of female wrestlers that I can say.
Thank you.
My favorite's Billy Kay.
Yes!
So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna pop in real quick because I know you guys had a fantastic show, and I want to thank you guys for being on the podcast. Liz, I will see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I hope we're still on for tomorrow.
Yes.
Again, you ladies did an outstanding job, and I want to say thank you for doing this. You guys burned me again. I'm speechless right now. I don't know what I can say. So, anyways, I want to thank you ladies very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Oh, can't wait for next year.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for everyone to listen to this podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it. We enjoyed the conversation. You guys did amazing. Thank you, ladies, for coming on the show, doing this. You all did awesome. You guys killed it. Whenever you guys want to come back to the show, you guys are always welcome, ladies. Always welcome. You guys did awesome. It shows every pro wrestling fan that women can also be pro wrestling fans, and they have their own opinions as well, and it's awesome. I love it.
Can't wait to be back on the next podcast, Ace and Famous Beast. So thank you for allowing me to be part of it once again.
Yeah, thank you. You guys did amazing. I think you guys did awesome. And like I said, whenever you guys want to come back on, just let us know, and you guys are welcome with open arms.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, so kind. Thank you. So until next time, ladies. Have a good night.
Hope you all have a good night. Take care.
Before we go, guys, we should definitely do another podcast WrestleMania week.
Well, that'll be awesome.
That's going to be crazy.
Yeah, look, it is mandatory. It is mandatory.
Or at least a week before or something. We can work something out, maybe. We'll work something out.
I'm like,
come on.
From here to April, a lot of things can happen.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll try to make it work.
Okay, good night, everyone.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye.